Hi, folks. Welcome to What's Gay in PA, where we share news stories and events that impact the LGBTQ plus community across Pennsylvania, from Philadelphia to Erie and all points in between. Today's show is brought to you by Powered by Rainbows, starring Matt Haslam of Matt Haslam Productions, and by Aura Jewelry by Mary Moore. If you are looking for inexpensive jewelry, check out our Etsy page for details. Our top news story today. The Progress flag was raised over City Hall in Reading at a ceremony attended by the mayor and other dignitaries. The ceremony kicks off the month-long promotion of self-affirmation, dignity, and equality for the LGBTQ community. Mayor Eddie Moran said the flag raising is about the unity and relationships that have been created to ensure everybody in Reading has a voice. The city's flag raising in 2019 was a flashpoint for controversy when former Mayor Wally Scott canceled the event minutes before it was set to occur. Scott said he did not support flying flags that support political movements, which he believed the pride flag symbolizes. After Scott refused to raise the flag, Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman called for the flag to be raised over City Hall. Scott changed his mind, and by the end of the week, he allowed the flag to fly. Tuesday's ceremony included speeches and proclamations by the mayor, Councilwoman Donna Reed, State Senator Judy Schwenk, State Representative Manuel Guzman, and others. Equal rights for all, Guzman said. That's what we are fighting for. In other news, U.S. Representatives Louis Gohmert, Rick Crawford, and Brian Mast are the newest co-sponsors of the Only Old Glory Act, which was introduced by Representative Jeff Duncan of South Carolina. The bill would declare that the only flag allowed to be flown at U.S. embassies and consulates is the U.S. flag. The proposed legislation comes on the heels of Secretary of State Antony Blinken's decision to allow Black Lives Matter flags to be flown at U.S. embassies. Duncan said in a statement that no other flag or symbol can portray our American values better than the American flag. Well, Representative Ralph Norman, also of South Carolina, an original co-sponsor of the bill, said that the U.S. flag is the preeminent symbol of American exceptionalism and should never be used as a prop to promote any agenda or political ideology. In a related story, we reported yesterday that Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, also a progressive candidate for U.S. Senate in 2022, attempted to defy a ban on unauthorized flags at the Pennsylvania State Capitol by flying an LGBT flag at his Capitol office, only to announce hours later that it had been taken down. I can't say I'm surprised, but I am deeply disappointed that the flags were removed on the literal start of Pride Month, he said in a statement. The announcement about the bill comes the same day President Biden signed a proclamation declaring June LGBTQ Pride Month, urging U.S. citizens to recognize the achievements of the LGBTQ plus community, to celebrate the great diversity of the American people, and to wave their flags of pride high. And finally in the news, just 6 years ago, Dr. Rachel Levine was the Physician General of Pennsylvania. She was the first transgender woman to have filled this role ever. In 2018, she became the State Secretary of Health under current Governor Tom Wolf. Today, she is the first transgender person to hold a U.S. Senate confirmed position. As Assistant Secretary of Health, Dr. Levine has spent much of her time concerned about the impact of the various anti-transgender bills passing in states across the country. She referred to the situation as unfortunate and disturbing. A survey taken by the Trevor Project found that 42% of LGBTQ youths seriously considered attempting death by suicide in the past year, including more than half of transgender and non-binary youths, and that 94% of LGBTQ youths reported that recent politics negatively affected their mental health. All of the politics alone would exacerbate mental health issues. The coronavirus has only made matters worse. In his first joint address to Congress, President Joe Biden made clear that he supports transgender youths. Dr. Levine succinctly said, "What I want to say is that I have your back too." She has since doubled down on that support with her own, which she plans to show through external advocacy for LGBTQ youths and internal policy at the Department of Health and Human Services. Some of that internal work will occur through Levine's position as co-chair of Health and Human Services' new Behavioral Health Coordinating Council, which will determine how the department tackles mental health and substance abuse issues. The creation of the council, which will meet 3 times a year, beginning in the early summer, comes alongside the department's allocation of $3 billion from the American Rescue Plan to states and territories for mental health and substance abuse prevention and treatment programs. For Dr. Levine, connecting with historically marginalized communities is crucial, as is rebuilding trust between LGBTQ people and the medical community. To provide more targeted treatment for COVID-19, she believes that the data that scientists and researchers have gathered must include information about sexual orientation and gender identity. According to Dr. Levine, we know that the LGBTQ community has suffered discrimination in medical care, and so it is that important to address that both for COVID-19 and generally. Those are among the concerns Levine will bring to Health and Human Services Health Disparities Council, which she co-chairs and which met for the first time in May. The group, which meets every other month, is responsible for advising Health and Human Services on reducing racial and ethnic health disparities. In addition to LGBTQ youths and people of color, LGBTQ seniors and immigrants also need to be centered in federal health policymaking, Levine said. We are making progress, but to make true progress, we have to protect those most vulnerable in our community, she said. We have to make progress for all of us. Now it's time for the rundown. On June 27th, the Northwest PA Pride Alliance will hold a Drive Your Pride event at Presque Isle State Park. The event will substitute for the annual Pride Parade this year. Participants are encouraged to decorate their vehicles as personal pride floats with flags, streamers, and signs. They will gather outside of the Tom Ridge Environmental Center at 1 p.m. and the Drive Your Pride Parade will hit the road at 2. In addition to raising a giant gay pride flag in front of its door on 17th Street in Philadelphia, the Sofitel Hotel will host a drag tea party to celebrate Pride Month. Like an amalgamation of Bridgerton and Pose, the Sofitel is putting an LGBTQ-friendly spin, a time-honored tradition. Drag tea will, of course, feature staples like scones, tea sandwiches, and other pastries, but attendees will also indulge in performances by Brittany Lynn's Philly Drag Mafia. Tickets are $55. June 5th and June 12th are the dates of the performance, and it will be at 2 p.m. at the Sofitel Hotel at Rittenhouse Square. On Thursday, June 17th from 7 to 10 p.m., join Miss Troy at the Octoraro Hotel in Oxford, PA. My apologies for butchering that. For Drag Queen Bingo at the OTE. Full food and drink menu during the show, and don't forget to bring your dollars to tip the queens. If you have news or events you would like us to mention on our show, send story ideas to info@paequality.com. For events, please allow up to 1 week prior to the event for us to include it on the program. Thanks for watching today. If you like today's show, give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll be back tomorrow when we have another edition of What's Gay in PA. What's Gay in PA is a production of the Pennsylvania Equality Project. All rights reserved. Copyright 2021.